Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I'm here to review the first episode of Marvel's What If. Now this Marvel's What If is a classic comic book. It's based off of a classic comic book, I guess, anthology series that's been going on for a long time. I think they still do Marvel What Ifs, and if they don't do Marvel What Ifs, they're probably going to bring them back after this show. But yeah, Marvel and DC, DC has Elseworld comics, though a lot of DC's Elseworld comics are like canon stuff, whereas Marvel's What Ifs are just hypothetical things they just throw out there. And a lot like that stuff, Marvel's What If is a series about exactly the question, what if? For an example, what if Wolverine was a vampire? That was one of them. What if the Fantastic Four never got their powers? What if the Avengers never assembled? What if Thanos was an Avenger? What if the Ghost Rider? Like all these kind of crazy ideas, and if you can think of it, there's probably been a what if about it. Just insane ideas that's just like, what if this? What if that? So, and they range from all kinds of things, from hilarious to scary to brutal to badass to awesome to just interesting, just like well, I believe like there was a what if I'm trying to think, like, what if Spider-Man became a Celestial or something like that? Like, what if Spider-Man had the powers of a Celestial? And there's all kinds of crazy concepts like that in the What If franchise. And it's one of those it's one of those things that's like, it just has so many different styles, and they're all, all bets are off, and whatever you want to happen, heroes can die, villains can win, or vice versa, different heroes win, different things happen, maybe you change this and you go down that path of how that happens. What if Captain America didn't die? And you go down that path, and different things happens in different ways. I remember reading the what if Captain America didn't go into the ice. Like, what if he survived? What if they found him? They just found him and he got to live his life with Peggy. And it ended up being a mixed bag, a very mixed bag of things. Well, I mean, he married Peggy, they fell in love, they had children, but, certain other aspects happened. I believe their son died, and him and Peggy's marriage was on the rocks. Bucky took over as Captain America and died, and it's like it's all kinds of his the daughter, because they named their daughter Sharon Rogers took over. Like it's all kinds of different things that ends up happening that shouldn't have happened, that don't go the way you think. Like, you would have thought him and Peggy would have lived happily ever after, but turns out they end up having marital issues that end in them getting a divorce. So like the what if scenarios are always fun, and today's what if. Now, people have seen 3 of them. They pretty much talked about 3 of them. But today's what if that we all got to see on Wednesday is, what if Peggy Carter became the first Avenger? Now, Captain America: The First Avenger is a movie I love. It's a movie that I love, and I know a lot of people don't like it. Some people think it's too cheesy. Some people think it's there's not enough in it. There's not enough meat on the bone. But personally, I think that movie is incredibly charming. I think that movie has so much heart. I love the romance between Peggy and Steve. I think it just works. I love the camaraderie between Steve and the Howling Commandos. I love the Rocketeer, like World War II aesthetic that it has going for it. I dig the hell out of that. I liked Red Skull. I thought Red Skull was a good villain, not a great villain. I think he was a serviceable / to good villain, and he served as the opposite to Steve, and he served that well. It has some of my favorite moments in the MCU in it. The grenade moment, the moment near the end where he's crashing the plane. I remember that movie made my mom cry. So I love The First Avenger. I personally think it's probably one of the greatest origin stories ever told. It doesn't get enough credit for that, and not enough people appreciate it. Personally, I do hold that movie in higher regards than even other people who like the MCU. So when you get to see this whole perspective change, first of all, you get this great narration in the beginning by Jeffrey Wright, and Jeffrey Wright has this smoldering voice, and he's got this voice that's like somehow he has a voice that's both intimidating and soothing at the same time. It's like you're riding lightning edge. Like listening to him, I am the Watcher. It's just like, I'm not sure if you're gonna stab me or you're gonna make me a drink. Like, I'm not sure what's about to happen. It's like getting listen to Jeffrey Wright's voice. It's like getting a massage from a serial killer. I might die, or I might just get a great massage. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but it is intriguing, and I love his voice, and he's so good as the Watcher. Now, they never say he's a Watcher. They just say, I am the Watcher. And I just love, like I said, I love the guy's voice, so he's kind of doing his, what's that guy from Twilight Zone? It's Rob Sterling? I think it's Rob Sterling. He's doing the Rob Sterling thing, he's doing the Elvira Rob Sterling thing. I am the host of this show, you know? Except, he is the Watcher. I look upon these alternate realities, and like that part is like the intro is cool. It's probably the coolest intro because so far none of the actual MCU shows have like intros. They kind of just have things. This is the only one that has an intro with a breakdown of the multiverse and the voiceover. What if? But we get into this what if situation, and the thing that's changed is, and like I said. Like, it's not just Peggy Carter becomes Captain Carter / Captain. She doesn't become, like, it kind of explains itself why she doesn't become Captain Britain is because technically she's there working under the U.S. government. She is under the U.S. government. She is an agent there. So she is not representing Britain. Like she isn't like, it's not a British, it's a U.S. government project. So of course they're not, so they wouldn't, of course, they're not going to let her be called Captain Britain. We created it so she could just be agent, she could just be Captain Carter. Sorry. You know how I get when I talk too much. Whew. Okay. That's why she's not Captain Britain. Anyways, the thing that's changed is, well, how do I describe this? In the original first Avengers, everyone was in the booth. It was a couple people down below. It was like, Tommy Lee Jones's character and a couple people down, but they were up top. Most people were up top when most people were up top when the experiment was going down. But Peggy making the decision to stay on the ground side by side with everyone else with other people while the experiment's going down completely changed things because the assassin decides to come down to the ground as well. Because her staying there kind of almost convinces / nudges other people to come down to the ground, including the assassin. So the assassin gets to actually get more closer to the experiment. So instead of him placing the bomb, because if you remember in the original first Avenger, he places the bomb up there. It goes off. It distracts everyone. He kills Erskine, and he calls it a day. But he kills Erskine and he calls it a day. But now that he's on the ground, now he can set the explosives off before the experiment even ever goes down. Rush to actually get the serum, kills basically everyone in the room. Rush to get the serum, almost gets the serum, but Steve being in there, Steve still being who he is, but he hasn't gotten the serum yet. Jumps out, he gets shot. Peggy takes him down. There's a whole back and forth between. Which, by the way, something else happens. Goddamn. Tommy Lee Jones's general character, he gets killed, which means that someone else takes over the whole SSR program. Someone who's even worse than he is, someone who's even a bigger dick than Tommy Lee Jones was, and that changes things a bit. But Captain Carter is born. First of all, I love this animation style. I knew I liked it. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it when I saw the clips, but the moment it started to go, I was like, I dig this shit. I was like, I like it. It just has this, it's like a living comic book. It's like a comic book that's moving. And I dig it. I really do. It's like a comic book that's moving. Especially with the, like I said, the 40s World War II thing they had going. It works even better for that. But needless to say, there are some sexist things in this, and I've seen some people say it might be a bit woke, but I don't think that at all. You have to remember, this is the 40s. Women weren't allowed to be in the front lines or in those kind of positions. So a woman, that's just how men would have behaved back then towards a woman who wants to, a woman, especially a woman they resent, you know, that's just how they behaved back then. You don't have to go as far as watching the Agent Carter show to know that even after all the shit she accomplished, she was a glorified secretary at the SSR until she proved herself even more to be a capable badass that they finally started, you know, treating her like an equal. So you gotta only imagine how they're treating her here. And, you know, Steve is still positive. Steve is still a good dude. He knew Steve was still going to be a good dude, a good positive dude. You know, he wanted to do more. He was looking forward to this, but he wants to support Peggy. And she's still, and by the way, this episode does an amazing job of solidifying that Steve and Peggy's relationship isn't built upon him being who he is. She was in love. She was into him before when he was skinny. And in fact, in the whole episode, she's still in love with him, even as she's this big, strong woman, and she's still in love with this skinny man. Like she loved that guy, not all the other shit. She loved him, and it shows even more because their romance is still blossoming. Tony's Howard is great in this. He's got some funny bits. He ends up coming to her being like, you know what, screw with that, General. Then the General guy said, you know what, here's a costume, here's a shield. We gotta stop Hydra from getting away with the Tesseract. Because they show Hydra getting it. Because, you know, like I said at the beginning of the first Captain America movie, Hydra takes the Tesseract from, like, I can't remember where, but they take the Tesseract and they start experimenting and making weapons that shoot, you know, like, tiny bits of the Tesseract. You remember, they shoot those blue weapons. But this reality, they never get them because Peggy shows up, fucks up all of these Hydra agents. I mean Hydra kids. She fucks them up. Which, by the way, something that I need to point out because some people are already questioning this. The reason why Peggy seems stronger, faster, better than Steve is because she was stronger, faster, better than Steve before the serum. You see, Steve Rogers is a bad motherfucker now. You know, Captain America, we know. After, you know, many years, Winter Soldier, all the different things he's been through. But in the beginning, he was just a strong dude. He didn't know how to actually fight. You know, everything was off of instincts. He never knew how to handle himself. Peggy, before the serum, I once watched Peggy beat up 10 men with her bare hands and some heels. Like, Peggy was a bad motherfucker before the serum. She is Agent Carter. She is a badass before it. And physically speaking, Steve was sickly and all this other thing, so she was in perfect physical shape. She probably could arm wrestle Steve right then on the spot. So physically, she was stronger than him. Skill-wise, she had many better than him. It was almost like literally, that's why she seems so much stronger, faster, and better than Cap. It's because theoretically, if she got the serum, she would be better. Like it's sad. I know there's gonna be some people, woke shit. But technically, she would be better than Steve. Not like Steve's. Everything great about Steve is in him. It's his morality, his instincts, his heart, his grit, his determination, his what's the word, like decision making. He wears his heart on his sleeves, his speeches, like everything great about Steve that makes Steve unique is great. But Peggy is not only a trained killer, she's killed men. She's killed men and women. She's a killer. She's well-trained. I mean, she can fuck up a room full of 10 dudes before the serum. And she has just as much heart and compassion as Steve. As other people have pointed out, she was going to jump when that grenade fell on the ground and they're like, oh, grenade! When Steve jumped on it, like one of the best Captain America moments ever, him jumping on that grenade. Peggy was going to jump on it too. Peggy moved forward to jump on it, but he jumped on it first. So it makes logical sense that she would be that badass with it. But the action sequences, the way the animation works, I don't want to get too much into it because I want you guys to see it. The episode's about 33 minutes. It's really, like I said, it's really fun. I really dug it. I loved the ways the different things that end up happening because Peggy is Captain Carter. I love the animation. I'm curious to see what they do in the other stuff. Like I said, dude, I wish it was a bit longer. If I had any complaints, I wish it was a bit longer. Sometimes Sebastian Stan's lines did feel a little bit whoa. And it's weird, it was just his lines. Everybody else felt great. But Sebastian Stan's lines, sometimes you just be like, oh man, like he didn't have a lot of them, but like some, and it went back and forth, because one time he sounds okay, but other times it was like, yo, whoa, like why does that sound weird right there? I just couldn't, like, it was weird. But it was just Sebastian. Other than that, I enjoyed myself. I'm digging this animation. I've never really seen it used this way before. I'm really had fun watching Peggy just whoop ass. Read like seeing the alternate reality and what could have happened and how it went down. It was really cool. I had a good time. I would give the first episode of What If an 8.5. I loved it. I dug it. Had a great time. Not quite like excellent, you know, into the 9 territory, 9.5 or a 10, but I thought it was a solid 8.5. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please leave me a like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.